Hello everybody, Jonathan Pulley here with West Coast Weather. Today is March 27th and we're going to talk about this rapidly developing cyclone that has formed over the last day or so over the Gulf of Alaska. This is bringing a frontal system in the Washington, Oregon, Southwest BC right now, and also Northern California, bringing some mountain snows and lowland rains. And then this is also behind the front, there's some sunshine and instability, and this will allow for some pop-up showers and thunderstorms over western Washington, Oregon, and southwest BC today. You can see all these convective showers over the ocean right now, and this will move into the coastline and parts of the lowlands as we go through later this afternoon and evening. The chances of thunderstorms will continue over the Pacific Northwest, even the eastern Washington, Oregon by Thursday and Friday before that kicks out. Then this storm system will go south and move into California, bring chances of thunderstorms, breezy winds, some moderate mountain snows, and lowland rain as well over the weekend for California. It's going to be a pretty decent storm system for down there. And then we look to get dry out for the Pacific Northwest this weekend, the early next week, bringing some temperatures into the 60s out west, and even potentially some 70-degree temperatures out to the eastern locations of those states as well. So definitely a nice weekend if you live up north of California, but California looks to be socked in with some rain and potential thunderstorms over the weekend. So plenty to talk about right now. So I just hope that everybody enjoys these videos and find them informative. Just please hit the like button, subscribe buttons down below if you find and really enjoy watching these videos. And without further ado, let's get right into the forecast. Now looking at general ridge and trough positions on the European model. This is for earlier this morning. You can see the deep trough associated with our cyclone, and you can tell it's kind of weakening as we go through later today and in the Thursday. It has peak intensity, and the actual observations showed that it got down to about 977 millibars, which is quite low. So a very impressive storm system, though it's staying out over the off the coast mostly, which is why we're not getting any significant windstorm or anything like that. But you can see that this kind of meanders over the area, and then the secondary low kind of forms on the southern side of this trough, and that will bring a pretty significant storm system to California with gusty winds on the coastline, heavy lowland rain, and potential for some strong thunderstorms as well. But then you can see this kind of trough gets reinforced in the bottom right corner down here for California, and we'll take a closer look at that later in this video. But I'm mainly focused on the Pacific Northwest for about the first half of this video. But you can see this nice ridge that builds in. This will allow some warmer temperatures for the Pacific Northwest and including California as we go through early next week. The nice weather will actually start around Sunday for the Pacific Northwest, because that trough is going to be kind of mostly out of the area except for parts of eastern Oregon. And then that bridge builds in, and most models agree in this happening. And then models are also flipping back and forth on this kind of pretty cold trough moving down over the Pacific Northwest and parts of British Columbia as we go through the middle, the second half of next week. So we're gonna have to keep an eye on this, because this is gonna potentially bring some pretty chilly temperatures, which would not be very nice for some of the cherry crop out there. May delay the start of some of the fruit season. But now looking at this storm system as it's been forming over the last day, you can see that early Tuesday morning it was just in its developing stages, but then as we went into Wednesday morning, you can see it reached peak intensity. It was actually about 1 or 2 millibars stronger than what the models were showing, so it overperformed a bit. But you can see 978 millibars, and if we play this back, you can see that it drops about 24 millibars in 24 hours, which does classify it as a bomb cyclone, which is why I put that in the thumbnail. And you can going back, you can see that this storm system kind of weakens right off the coast. It doesn't actually go into the shoreline, which is going to keep those showers and potential thunderstorms over the Pacific Northwest for multiple days straight, because it kind of just meanders there. And then you can see that secondary low that forms and then moves down to California as well. And then high pressure it will start building into the region as we go through later this weekend. Now looking at a closer look at the Pacific Northwest, here's Southwest BC, Vancouver, here's Whidbey Island, here's Seattle, here's the Portland Metro down here, and then you can see Northern California down here, just to give you an idea of the location we're looking at right now. You can see the blues and purples are the mountain snow, and you can see green is the rain. You can see the kind of showery nature of all of this as we go through Friday. But after we go through Friday, most of it, all of it goes away for Oregon and British Columbia and Washington before it moves south over California. You can see we stay dry basically from Saturday all the way through and Tuesday evening. We're going to keep an eye on the exact timing of this next system late next week, as that could be a good mountain snowmaker and drop the snow levels pretty low on some of these runs. We're not really expecting any lowland snowstorm or anything like that, especially this time of the year. This is getting in the early April, which is basically the end of any snow chances for the Pacific Northwest. Now look at the lightning flash density on the European model. This is basically showing us where the model thinks there's going to be some thunderstorm chances. And as we get around the 1 to 2 p.m. time frame, it sparks all these thunderstorms up, and it's been very consistent the past few days showing this. And you can see this even starts going up towards Southwest BC, maybe Vancouver Island, Nanaimo over there, maybe Vancouver getting in some of the action as well. It's been showing this little convergence zone kind of signal over northern Whidbey Island, going up towards Bellingham and Ferndale up there in Whatcom County, including the San Juans as well in Skagit County. So definitely keep an eye on the skies today and make sure when thunder roars, go indoors, as the National Weather Service likes to say. And then that kind of dies off as we go in the evening, but you can see the coastal areas are definitely going to be favored with even chances going into the night. And then as we go through Thursday, you can see this chances spread all the way east in the Idaho Panhandle and parts of eastern Oregon and Washington. There's still going to be some chances out west, but it looks like the best chances are going to be today, Wednesday. And as we go through Friday, you can see the chances continue, maybe not as strong of a signal as the past few days, but still a slight chance of some thunderstorm activity on Friday before completely kicking out on Saturday. Now looking at the HRRR, this is composite reflectivity, or what the model thinks the radar is going to look like. And you can see this morning as the frontal system moved through, this is about when I'm recording the video right here. You can see some showers starting to move on the coast right now, and I did check radar, and this is basically what it's showing. You can see these stronger showers though associated with the center of that low pressure system, and once those move in later this evening, you can see that these stronger showers potentially with thunderstorms associated with them. You can also see this little band over northern Whidbey Island, Fidalgo Island, up towards Bellingham, and this has been being shown on multiple models, and I'm kind of believing it a little bit. But if one of these storms can get going, there's definitely going to be some small hail and potential lightning and thunder associated with them, and I'll show you why here, why there's these chances today. And you can really see as we go through this evening, it's just multiple rounds of showers and thunderstorms as we go through, and I don't know why the model's kind of glitching out right now. But you get the idea that there's going to be plenty of showers and thunderstorms around the area later this evening. This will continue in the Thursday and Friday, but slowly decreasing in the amount of activity. Now looking at the NAM 3 cam, also on the composite reflectivity, just kind of giving you an idea that almost all models show some sort of showers and thunderstorms. The NAM tends to underdo the amount of showers, so if you see not as much, that's why. But you can also see that it does show that weird little convergence zone thing just north of would be maybe around the Oak Harbor area as well, going out towards Bellingham. So I'm definitely keeping an eye on that this afternoon. You can check out my Twitter page, which I'll also link in the comments below, because I post there on a more regular basis, because it's just kind of an easier and faster way to get information out than making an entire video. But I really enjoy making these videos, and I can get a lot more information packed into these, which is why I do them. But you can see the NAM goes out actually 2.5 days, so we can actually go in the Thursday. You can see tons of showers. It doesn't look to be as intense showers. There's still going to be some isolated thunderstorms, especially on the coastline, but the instability doesn't look to be as great inland, which may reduce the amount of thunderstorms into the lowlands. But you can see as we go through later on Friday, there's still going to be some chances, but you really see that most of the moisture is moving south towards California, but there's still going to be some isolated thunderstorm chances on Friday. Now looking at the convective available potential energy. This is basically how much energy in the atmosphere there is for thunderstorms. So the brighter the colors, the more energy there is potentially for thunderstorms. You can see this by this afternoon. The NAM tends to overdo this a bit, but you can see some of these values getting over 5 to 700, which is actually quite high for this part of the world. So definitely, if any of these showers or thunderstorms get pulled into all this cape, there's going to be a lot of energy available, and I wouldn't doubt that there's at least some slight chance of a strong to maybe weakly severe thunderstorm as well, maybe an odd funnel cloud or two. And the National Weather Service also actually said in their forecast discussion today the potential for some water spouts on the coastline, as some of that wind shear, the winds turning with height, is kind of strong today, so that allows for some spin in the atmosphere. That is not the main threat whatsoever. Lightning and small hail are the main threats, and some heavy rain, but that's just an added bonus. But you can see this convective available potential energy really keeps going on the coastline all night long, which is why that extended threat down there. But you can see on Thursday, there's more cape that builds up as that sunshine comes out in the afternoon on Thursday. But you can see the values are not as strong as they were on Wednesday. And then if we go through Friday, you can see this once again shows up, but even lighter maybe than Thursday. And then looking at the total precipitation over the next day or two, you can see that the NAM is showing all the continued shower activity on the coastlines, with multiple inches of rain possible for some areas where multiple showers just keep going over and over. You can see some of the interior locations are really not picking up that much, maybe a quick half an inch or so if some of those heavier showers or thunderstorms move over. You can see the rain shadowing up here near Squim, which is very typical for most of these storm systems in the wintertime. You can see the Willamette Valley maybe picking up half an inch or so of rain. You can see out east maybe getting a couple tenths of an inch of rain. Some of the mountains out there maybe getting a couple inches. There's also going to be some snow in the passes and in the mountains, not really expecting more than a couple of inches in the pass at times, so really not that big of an issue. Maybe a foot of snow potentially at like the very highest peaks, Mount Baker and Mount Rainier, especially. Looking at the daily 2-meter temperatures, you can see high temperatures in the 40s and 50s, maybe low 60s for parts of eastern Washington and eastern Oregon. But you can see this weekend and in the early next year, you can see high temperatures potentially getting into the 70s, possible for eastern Washington and Oregon as well for a couple days. So very warm out there potentially. That's kind of normal for this time of the year. They tend to start warming up more than we do as they get more sunshine and less of that marine influence. And then you can also see that potentially some low to middle 60s out west. So very nice weather potentially as we go through Saturday, Sunday, especially in the Monday and Tuesday of next week. And this is for the Southwest British Columbia viewers. You can see daily max temperatures. This is in Celsius actually. For some reason it's showing us Fahrenheit up there. That's kind of a glitch. But you can see temperatures around 9 to 10 degrees Celsius over the next day, and then potentially warming up into the Fraser River Valley, potentially up to 12 to 13 degrees as well. So definitely some rather chilly air, but you can see it also warms up later on Monday and Tuesday, potentially middle teens Celsius possible for some of the Fraser River valleys, but definitely cooler if you're near the Strait of Georgia and the Strait of Juan de Fuca. Now looking at the California now, you can see that the frontal system that's going to be moving down later today into tomorrow brings some mountain snows and lowland rain. But then you can see the main story that later this weekend coming in late on Friday actually brings some moderate mountain snows and some potentially heavy lowland rain, as well as a 995 millibar low spins all this moisture and instability into the region. Kind of quickly gets out by the end of the weekend, but you can see some residual moisture coming back around over the low all the way into early on Monday as well. Maybe some showers remaining for parts of the southeastern part of the Sunshine State. It's not really going to be much of a sunshine state this weekend. But looking at the lightning flash density on the European model, you can see that there is maybe some very slight chance of thunderstorms in some of the northern part of the state, but really not expecting much today or Thursday, as well as most of that activity will be up in the Pacific Northwest. Maybe a very, very slight chance on Friday as well, but definitely not going to be a big threat at all. But then as we go into Saturday, this is where the real story starts. When that low moves in, that moisture instability is going to flow into the central valleys. You can see that some of these values are getting pretty high on the lightning flash density, which shows that these thunderstorms may be potentially strong to severe thunderstorms. So definitely going to need to keep an eye out on this for the weekend. Potential for some funnel clouds, maybe a weak tornado or water spout as well. That is not going to be the main threat, but definitely plenty of lightning and small hail and heavy rain potentially with these on Saturday. And as we go through Sunday, this activity will also be possible as well. The main threat looks to be on Saturday, but as we go, the main threat actually looks to be on Sunday for Southern California, though. Even Los Angeles getting on some of the action. There's actually an excessive rainfall outlook from the Weather Prediction Center, so definitely going to be some possible flash flooding issues if some of these thunderstorms produce heavy enough rain. So just keep an eye out on the sky over the weekend if you're living in California. Now looking at the total precipitation through all this entire system, you can see basically 1 to 2 to 3 inches of rain depending on where you are in California. You can see the heaviest amounts will be on the coastlines in the mountains as per usual. Some of the Central Valley still getting a decent amount, and then you can see how there's a lot drier amounts out towards Death Valley in the desert regions, which is very typical. And you can see the total snowfall in inches through late Monday morning. You can see that there's totals getting over a couple of feet of snow in the Sierras. So definitely some winter travel over the Sierras over the weekend. So just be careful if you're heading out there. And this will actually start later today as that front moves south over the region. So just make sure that keep an eye on those road conditions out there. Now looking at 10-meter wind gusts real quick, you can see some breezy conditions in the mountains, which is pretty typical. But you can see this low kind of moves down and brings some gusty winds to the coastline. The strongest winds look to be on the backside of the storm system, which is going to be well off the coastline. So the strongest winds don't look to make it in. So generally just some breezy to blustery weather they accompany the rain that's going to be moving in. Now look at the composite reflectivity on the NAM. You can see the weak frontal system moving through California brings some of that mountain snow and lowland rain as we go through later today into Thursday. But you can see this low clear as day on the composite reflectivity. You can see some of these stronger cells. They even got little bean shapes, and that shows that there's going to be some wind shear in the atmosphere, so some rotation is going to be possible with these storm cells, which means that a potential for a water spout or funnel cloud is definitely possible. The NAM doesn't go out far enough, but these will eventually make their way into the Central Valleys and in the Southern California for a potential for a odd, strong, the weakly severe thunderstorm out there. Now looking at a nice graph from the National Weather Service of Seattle showing the potential thunderstorms, breezy winds, and then the kind of drippy days through Friday, and then the nicer weather as we go through Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Potential for thunderstorms today, breezy winds, small hail, locally heavy rain and lightning late this morning through this evening. This will also have some chances on Thursday and Friday as well. Lightning safety, just make sure if you're doing any of these activities outside, just please make sure to go inside if you hear thunders, because when thunder roars, go indoors, see a flash dash in sight, and lightning can strike from up to 10 miles away. So definitely you want to go inside if there's a thunderstorm, because getting struck by lightning is no fun. Isolated thunderstorms Thursday and Friday afternoon. This is from the National Weather Service of Spokane. So definitely it's region-wide potential thunderstorms on Thursday, and then the northern Idaho panhandle is favored on Friday. Brief gusty winds, small hail, or snow pellets, infrequent lightning. Sneaker waves also potential for the Washington, Oregon coastlines over the next couple of days with some increased wave heights. So just be careful if you're out there on the beach. Look for this from the National Weather Service of Sacramento, California, showing potential for some moderate to locally heavy snowfall for a couple of feet of snow. Make sure to check out chain controls and mountain travel delays because of slick roads. Precipitation forecast, a couple inches in the mountains with maybe up to a half an inch potentially in some of the valley locations. Additional rain possible for this is the most probable rainfall amounts from the National Weather Service of Los Angeles for this storm system coming up. Around maybe a couple inches of rain, up to 3 inches of rain for parts of Santa Barbara County, Ventura County, and LA counties. You can see some steady rain starting Friday night, showers Saturday afternoon through Sunday/Monday. Peak rainfall rates could get up to a half inch per hour, maybe slightly higher in some of the heavier cells /thunderstorms. 10 to 20% chance of thunderstorms Saturday night in the Sunday. Remote risk of severe thunderstorms, which I was mentioning. Now looking at the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, you can see maybe potentially above average temperatures for for the Pacific Northwest as we go through the April 1st, the April 5th timeframe, as that ridge of high pressure looks to remain over the region. But we're going to have to keep an eye on what this is going to look like past that, as that cold trough of low pressure may move down over the region. 6 to 10 day precipitation outlook above average for the southwest United States, potentially near normal to slightly below normal for the Pacific Northwest. This is after our storm systems move through. 8 to 14 day temperature outlook. This is for below average temperature for much of the west. This is highlighting that potential for that cold trough of low pressure to move down over the west coast. So keeping an eye on that. And 8 to 14 day precipitation outlook from continuing from April 3rd to the 9th, also near normal to slightly above average precipitation for much of the west coast, as additional systems are possible after our nice weather ridge. So definitely plenty to look at as we go through early April. Well, that's it for this video, everybody. I hope everybody found this video enjoyable and informative. Just please hit the like button, subscribe buttons down below. It helps the YouTube algorithm to post my video out to more people, and it's just very much appreciated. Make sure that keep an eye on the sky out there across Western Washington, Oregon, and Southwest BC this afternoon, as those potential thunderstorms move in. Then also we have that storm system moving into California later this weekend, bringing some moderate to locally heavy mountain snows to parts of the Sierra Nevadas, also some locally heavy rainfall to parts of California as well, especially around the Los Angeles area Saturday into Sunday, as those showers and thunderstorms move into the region. Then nicer weather expected after that, especially for the Pacific Northwest. The nice weather will start up on Saturday, with temperatures warming into the 60s potentially out west, and with some temperatures even in the 70s, maybe even middle 70s for eastern Washington and Oregon. So definitely some nice weather out there. I hope everybody's enjoying their day. Please take care, God bless, and have a wonderful rest of your day.